This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to DRTSPR show. This is Dr. Tangella Shiva Prasad Reddy alias Dr. TSPR. Namaste, Adab, hello, and a warm welcome to my Gurutululu Subbarao Garu, BV Balijapalli Subbarao Garu. Sir, Namaskaram.
Namaste.
And in the same way, my Guru, Professor K. Purushottam Reddy Garu, I'm watching his messages on YouTube. I have even written to him that we are still in wait. Why? Because this is a momentous occasion for me to host both my Guru and Gurutululu through Hyderabad Democracy Forum HDF. Once again, the HDF becomes the main platform whenever people are in trouble, whenever people's money is misutilized, whenever people's needs are ignored, whenever there is a threat to our existence, our survival, present and future. Why? The budgets of whether it is assembly or parliament, if they are not in symbiosis with our day-to-day living, we our survival will be in peril. And here also again the latest union budget has earmarked very meager amounts that our my Guru Tululu will clearly put it out for wetland restorations. Can you believe? It is a shame how wetlands are important, because this is International Wetland Day today we are celebrating. So that is why, politics apart, other topics apart, this is more important and fundamental for our survival, because they control not just flood, they will give us fresh water and give us good air, COVID-19 oxygen to breathe. When we cannot restore, when we cannot start encroachment, when we cannot start destruction of our wetlands, which are nature given, which are already existing in Telangana and various parts of India, they are thinking of linking rivers. See the nonsense. Linking of rivers, which is unnatural. So much of money destroying one river basin and trying to feed another river basin, contracts, cement, or we say a concrete jungle, and commissions for political parties eternally. Lakhs of crores for that. But the natural habitats like wetlands, meager amounts. So which is more important? This helps for our immediate survival. And through wetlands, we can get various source of living that he will clearly explain. I will take a forward first word from my Gurutululu. Then I will share a song which has been shared by my Gurutululu in regards to what wetlands is, how the state governments, political parties, the so-called environmentalists, and so and forth, with due respects to everyone, why they could not engage, and why this wetlands International Day wetlands could not become a major topic or a headline in all papers, all channels. That is why we have taken up this issue. Sir, namaskaram. Forward, first
Namaste,
a word from
Namaste.
you. మీరు చెప్పిన తర్వాత నేను అది
Yeah, yeah,
చూపిస్తాను.
yeah. Today being the World Wetlands Day, and India and the world, celebrating the importance, discussing the importance of wetlands and human connectivity to the wetlands. And I do not want to go further. And with this brief introduction, I request my friend Dr. Shiv Prasad to play the video as a beginning of the episode. Please, Dr. Shiva.
Definitely. Are you able to watch it on the screen, sir?
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Sahani. Our wetlands have been waiting to charm you, Mr. Sahani.
Well, then I hope that I like it here.
Finally, you're here. I'm sure you will. Your boat is ready. I'll be right here when you're back tomorrow. I'll be waiting for you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Namaste, Anna.
Namaste, Inka.
This
But
is
we have
very
1 minute.
important. He is a globally renowned author, important for our Jan Bhagidari movement, important for the future of wetlands.
बादल से बारिश, सांसों से जीवन, पल पल बदलता ये मौसम, पानी की हलचल, चिड़िया ये चंचल, जीना सिखाए ये हर पल, फूलों का खिलना, खुशबू का उड़ना, हर शय की है दास्तां, हम अगर नहीं तो तुम कहाँ, हम अगर नहीं तो तुम कहाँ. मुसाफिर पंछी सारे आसमां ज़मीं पे उतारे, मिट्टी की सौंधी खुशबू जीने का मंत्र उचारे. मुसाफिर पंछी सारे आसमां ज़मीं पे उतारे, मिट्टी की सौंधी खुशबू जीने का मंत्र उचारे. तितली और मछली, पौधे और झुरमुट, झिंगूर की बोली, पशुओं की ठिठोली, ऐसी जन्नत मिलेगी कहाँ. हम अगर नहीं तो तुम कहाँ, हम अगर नहीं तो तुम कहाँ. पहाड़ों से गिरता झरना, घने जंगलों से होके, नदियों के साथ बहकर फसलों के खेत सींचे. पहाड़ों से गिरता झरना, घने जंगलों से होके नदियों के साथ बहकर फसलों के खेत सींचे सागर का प्यार पुकारे नदियों को बाहें पसारे सागर का प्यार पुकारे नदियों को बाहें पसारे सूरज का निकलना यहाँ शाम का ढलना सागर से मिले आसमां हम अगर नहीं तो तुम कहाँ हम अगर नहीं तो तुम कहाँ हम अगर नहीं तो तुम कहाँ
Thank
Wetlands
you, Dr. Shiv Prasad.
are world's most beautiful ecosystems, and they need saving. Not in the future, but now. We have to come together. We have to learn again how to walk lightly on Earth.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful presentation, sir. Wonderful.
Yeah,
I think
brief
it was
and very pleasant, very pleasantly.
very pleasant and very
Sati
clear
and
message. Anna, namaste, Anna.
Namaste, namaste.
I think my Guruvar will be very happy that I am doing a show on this today.
no, no,
If we don't
this is
survive,
our
how will you? ఎంత బాగా చెప్పారు. If we don't survive, how will you? If without wetlands, how can we survive? అవి లేకపోతే మనం ఎక్కడ? దీనికన్నా
this is the third year we are doing the Wetland Day program.
yes sir. Third year
And
continuous, regular basis.
yeah, third year, 3 years continuously we are doing. And yesterday also I participated in one of the wetlands programs, and we'll continue to do this. So we are looking into it. And if you make me the
Yes, presenter. Yeah.
presenter, I will just show the PPT.
అగర్ హమ్ నహీ తో తుమ్ కహా ఎంత బ్యూటిఫుల్ ఉంది సార్ సాంగ్. చాలా బాగా చేశారు. ఎంత లొకేల్స్ అందమైన ప్రదేశాలు వదిలిపెట్టి లింకింగ్ ఆఫ్ రివర్స్ చేస్తారట. ఎంత అన్యాయం దొంగలు.
Yes, sir.
Even బాగా వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తారు?
వద్దు కానం అన్న చెప్తారు ఇప్పుడు ఎవరి కిరీటం ఆ కిరీటంలో మన మన వనరులు పోతున్నాయి కదా.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
ఎస్ సార్.
Yes, yes.
I'm making it full screen.
ఫుల్ స్క్రీన్ చేయండి సార్. ఎస్.
Full screen. Yes.
యా. ఇంకా పెద్దగా పెట్టమంటే పెద్దగా పెట్టవచ్చు మనం దాన్ని, కానీ కనిపిస్తుంది సార్, బాగుంది.
World Wetlands Day relevance importance for sustainable development. They rightly pointed out in the song, it's an umbilical relationship with the wetlands, and people have forgotten about the wetlands. And it is time for us. And Hyderabad Democracy Forum, in collaboration with Dr. TSPR channel, this is actually the third year we are conducting on this. And let us look into what is all about this. Okay. International community celebrate World Wetland Day 2nd February to raise the awareness. And this year theme is It's Time for Wetlands Restoration. It's time for wetlands restoration. You see, this is very important to highlight. Wetlands ecological services contribute $47.4 trillion annually to human health, happiness, and security. This doesn't get the attention of the great economists and budget preparation people, politicians. The ecological services in terms of monetary benefit. This is very important to understand. And how do we integrate the ecological services in the development? World Wetlands Day. 40% of wetlands in India gone in last 30 years. This is the pathetic situation. We are celebrating this on 2nd February and adopt a convention on wetlands which was signed in Iranian city of Ramsar. This is popularly known as Ramsar Convention. And based on the Ramsar Convention and the guidelines of the Ramsar Convention, we do identify the wetlands in the country. Nearly 90% of world's wetlands have been degraded since 1700s. Yet, wetlands are critically important ecosystems, contribute to biodiversity, climate mitigation. Most important is climate mitigation, adaptation, freshwater availability, world economies, and much more. As rightly pointed out by my friend Dr. Shuprasad Reddy on the freshwater availability and economies. Wetlands and climate change. I thought, this is what globally everybody is talking, and we should understand the relevance and importance of wetlands. Wetlands are superheroes of nature. 33% of world's terrestrial carbon, they store it. You see, people are inventing a lot of technologies for carbon storing and all. 1 million species threatened with extinction depend on wetlands. 1 billion people worldwide directly depend on wetlands for their livelihoods, food, fresh. Telangana, the large number of fishermen community today are deprived of their livelihood. The same is the situation across the country, and unfortunately, the direct benefit for shikara in Dalhouse is threatened today. So we need to look into it. We need to see how the degraded wetlands are undermining the livelihoods of millions of people in this country, and how we are losing the opportunity to capture the terrestrial carbon. Coastal wetlands are vital in fight against the climate change. They absorb and store carbon, reduce floods, relieve droughts, protect coastal lines, regulates microclimatic conditions. This is most important. You see why most of the urban metropolitan cities are becoming hot and hot every year is particularly a city like Hyderabad and Bangalore, because we are losing the wetlands, lakes, nurtures biodiversity, offers natural solutions towards climate adaptation, long-term mitigation. You see, more than 2.5 decades, we're all, like-minded people along under the leadership of Professor Purushottam Reddy. We are all fighting and making. It's not the fight, we are trying to bring the notice to the, governance system, people, on vanishing wetlands of Telangana. Only 3 lakes are listed in entire Telangana. Is it not a shameful thing? Manjira Wildlife Sanctuary, Pakal Lake Wildlife Sanctuary, and Kapra Wetlands. And what happened to the conservation and nurturing of this, at least these 3 projects? Nothing. So we had more than 60,000 wetlands, and in all Telangana today, as per the government record, they say 13,297 wetlands, covering 4.95 lakh hectares. Can you imagine the potential, the wetlands in Telangana, which can, pave way towards climate adaptation No list prepared in spite of Supreme Court order. This is the pathetic thing. It only reminds me of my friend Dr. K.L. Vyas' struggle, along with him, Professor Purushottam Reddy and late Dr. Razurkar. In 95-96, they approached the High Court for the list of lakes of Hyderabad. Today, in spite of Supreme Court order, the list of wetlands is not prepared. We have eligible for declaration under Ramsar Convention in Telangana around 8,000 wetlands. Can you imagine? Under the, we will have a separate episode. I request Dr. Shivprasad Reddy on this. You see, on the criteria for declaration of the Ramsar. Why? Why the system is sleeping? You see, you look at Hyderabad itself, we have within the greater corporation area around 182 what they claim, but in and around it had more than 4,000 lakes. And all are cascade lakes, one lake after the other, the flow follows and regulates the flood waters. It's a beautiful Hyderabad, ecologically designed town planning, and today everything is gone. Loss and degradation of wetlands and development crisis. You look at the encroachments. You look at during the COVID period, the lake at the Miapur, government merely sanctioned the encroachment, legalized the encroachment for construction of a residential cum commercial building. What is this? In spite of the guide, let us see. I am only placing you how we are butchering and degrading the wetlands of Hyderabad, and what can be done, and how the wetlands are important for a city like Hyderabad and Telangana state. Okay, with all these negative aspects of it and all, let us look into it. What the government of India came out with. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. It brought out a notification in 2017 stating wetlands vital parts of hydrological cycle, productive ecosystems, microclimate regulation, aesthetic enhancement, whereas the many wetlands are threatened by reclamation, degradation, and through drainage and landfill pollution. Okay, this notification itself endorses, accepts how we are butchering this, and it is resulting in loss of biodiversity, disruption in ecosystem services provided by the wetlands. I have my own doubts whether the state government made any attempt in preparing ecosystem services of these wetlands of Telangana. We do not know. Whenever they talk, they only talk of ma tatal neyil daginru ma mutul vasantu. Kakatiyila heritage. Nothing else. You see, under the constitution, this is what I feel, the governor and the CM, the positions I am referring to. Governor is a monitoring system. President is a monitoring system. On the other day, some honorable minister was ridiculing this. I do not saying that, I do not understand why they have created all this. They have created this president to the governor structure to monitor the governance at each level, whether they are following the framework of constitution or violating the constitution. It's not that, I'm not being honored or I am not being respected. These are the petty, silly things for a person in a honorable position. Let us look into it, how the wetlands are protected under the Article 51 of the A of the Constitution, stipulates that it shall be the duty of every citizen of India protect, improve the natural environment, forests, lakes, rivers, wildlife. That is the beauty of it. This is part of it. When so many lakes have been, wetlands have been, encroached, The governor's office did not mention anything of the constitutional violation. And what is that the monitoring system doing? The environment protection is a comprehensive legislation. Okay, and it takes this particular 2017 notification takes 51A of the Constitution, Environment Protection Act of 1986, and National Environment Policy of 2006. Which recognizes ecosystem services provided by the wetlands. Are we talking of? And on the other hand, some of the people in the elected group and also in the bureaucracy, they say, "Oh, why these lakes?" Huh? Emphasizes the need to set up regulatory mechanism for all wetlands as to maintain their ecological character. Okay, under the three, ultimately support their integrated management. Whereas India is a signatory to Ramsar Convention. We forget. We go there, all the senior secretaries from the Delhi, they go there, make all halla gulla, have good dinners and lunch, and they come back. But coming back, they have a responsibility. Wise use of wetlands within the territory. Central government has published the Wetlands Conservation Management Rules in 2010, and later in the 2017, it improvised and came out with notification. Let us see. Wise use of wetlands can provide. But in the smart cities, we do not have a mechanism to integrate the wetlands in the master plan of the urban. And today in Telangana, more than 6 master plans at different levels and different municipalities, you know, is picking up hot debate. And in some places, the wetlands have gone, lakes have gone, streams have gone. What is that? What kind of a master plan we are creating? We are only creating master plan, suppress all the natural resources, invite with a red carpet the industries to have all our natural resources. No? Wetlands biodiversity. Do we have the registers of biodiversity in the Telangana? State government, union territory administration need to take account wetland ecosystem services. Okay. Whereas the central government considered it necessary to supersede the 2010 and they came out with 2017. Wetland. There is a lot of ambiguity which needs a lot of debate. But I do not know how many people are aware of even wetland notifications of 210 and 217. Even forget about the common man, even among the elected persons, the MLAs, the corporators, the MPs, the ministers, the chief ministers. I have my own doubts. Do they have knowledge of this? Then why there is no debate in the parliament and the assembly? Assembly is going on now. There is a lot of ambiguity in this. You see, whether natural or artificial, and you see, they have excluded some wetlands complexes means two or more ecologically hydrologically contiguous wetlands. Okay, we have cascade. Wise use of wetland means maintenance of their ecological character. Now, do we know? Do we understand ecological character? We only know put up an STP and kill the life of the lake. We do not take, we, on the name of beautification of the wetlands and the lakes, we introduce 100% concrete machinery, kill the life of the lake. But whereas the notification says it, you must be focusing on the ecological services of the lake. Are we focusing? Even zone of influence has to be taken into consideration. You see, unfortunately, the largest wetland we have, the Hussain Sagar, has 275 square kilometers of catchment area. And this zone of influence, we have never bothered to, ensure an 100% sanitation and hygiene in this part. We only talk of cleaning the lake, but you cannot ensure the healthy lake without addressing the issues of zone of influence. This is very important. We must understand this. Okay, wetlands can be anywhere, coastal wetlands, breakish wetlands, and riverine wetlands. And then you see what happened in Hyderabad is most of the foreshore area on the name of Shikam Patta, I do not know, this is only a temporary Patta. We have allowed them for the conversion of the Shikam zone of every lake, the littoral zone, which is the active ecological feature of any water body, and we have transformed the lakes into ponds. That is the reason we do not see many of the wetland birds in. This notification also brought out certain restrictions actually. Let us see what are those restrictions. Okay. On the right side, let us see. Government of India constituted National Wetlands Committee and asked the state governments to establish State Wetlands Authority. In 2019, state created the Wetland Authority, but so far I think maybe one advisory committee meeting held, and there is no report, provided that central government may consider proposals for these restrictions, I'm telling you. And it says wetlands shall be conserved, managed in accordance with principle of wise use determined by wetlands authority. The following activities are listed: conversion of non-wetlands uses, okay, encroachment, setting up industry, expansion of existing industry, manufacture or handling of storage disposal, hazardous substances, and you see there are many restrictions. Discharge of untreated waste, this is forget about it. 365 days, 24 into 7, all the wetlands, lakes, streams, and nalas are full with untreated effluents. Any construction of permanent nature except for boat jetties, it is not. Poaching is restricted. Then they have clearly given what are the activities, restricted activities, and the beauty of the state governments and the central government is whatever the central government says, state government violates it. I do not know the attitude of the state government. Governments have to look into the interest of the public, interest of the environment, public interest, and how it is protected and under the constitution and the acts. So we are not looking into all these aspects of it. The entire Telangana, the lakes have become the dumping grounds. Lakes vanishing, but GHMC apathy persists. Civic body lake rejuvenation projects go on at a. More than that, you see, land in lake mortgaged for 13 crores and later it was enhanced to 40 crores. This is what financial institutions are doing. What is that the lake, wetland authority in the state? Is it sleeping? I do not know. People have to question this. In the absence of any lake authority, it is the wetland authority of the state has the responsibility to probe in. And government has already given the orders to probe. Where is the probe report, inquiry report? We have not come across. The probe was declared on 17, 11, November 22. November gone, December gone, January gone. We have entered into the February. For inquiring one lake, issue, it took more than 2 months. Nothing has come out. What is that? Get wet, get well. Wetlands are nature's shock absorbers. Their degradation in cities is real bad news for urban future. This is what. Vadodara in Gujarat lost 30% of its wetlands. Hyderabad has lost 50% of its semi-aquatic bodies due to inefficient waste management, unchecked urban development. Okay, so where are we? Delhi Master Plan 2041 is a good start. The situation will worsen. Wetlands are natural shock absorbers. We need the protection. You see, we need to integrate this into the urban plan. Otherwise, we cannot save, protect, and conserve these wetlands. A total of 75 Indian wetlands with surface area of over million hectares are designated as wetlands of international importance under Ramsar Convention. Okay. Unfortunately, the Kolleru did not get its recognition. And even our Telangana, we have beautiful lakes. We are not able to project and contest for the recognition under the Ramsar Convention. What is that all these people are doing? What is that the opposition party leaders are doing? Huh? What they know about the acts issued by the central government? They only know, make some slogans, Allah Gulla, and shout. Huh? They are not. Even the Sundarbans wetland has lost 25% of its mangroves. So we need to look into it. I do not know. The adjoining state, they have cleared mangroves for a housing program, which is the funniest thing and stupid thing. What I say. World Wetlands Day, protection of wetlands is the only answer to urban flooding. It is urgent that we raise national global awareness, even the local. It must start from the local about wetlands in order to reverse their rapid loss, encourage actions to conserve, restore them. World Wetlands Day is the ideal time to increase people's understanding of these critically important ecosystems. Civil societies initiatives, lot of initiatives. And I congratulate the communicher who near the Shamshabad and the Bohra community, which cleaned the Bond Lake, pulled all the water has, and the students from the architectural college, government architectural college, Masabtan, they do visit on lake studies. We need to reach out to the people, and this is one of the lakes which is a classic civil societies example where entire funds were pooled by the community members. Entire technology and restoration was handled by members of the Soul Forest Academy under the leadership of Mr. Raghuveer, then Director, Forest Academy, Telangana. Of course, then it was a combined state, and Infosys also joined hands in this. This is the Nerla Kottaguda Lake, and GHMC. Mustafa, the horticulture officer from GHMC, he came forward for plantation and all. We should come together. Convergence is the key for sustainability. We cannot work in isolation. We have to shut down our things. We have to develop a spirit of agree to disagree. Government is functioning in isolation, and the MLAs, elected person, corporators are behaving like muscle men, huh? and and contractors. We have to keep away and bring more people's participation and communities' participation in wetlands conservation. That is the key for do not just beautify, protect the lakes. 23-24 budget has allotted something like 3,000 crore to the Ministry of Environment. Okay. India currently, I think the 3,000 crores they have allotted only for the 75 Ramsar sites. But what happens when Telangana has 13,000? So we need to look into it, the wetlands. Local communities have always been at the forefront of conservation efforts. This was the statement given by our Honorable Financial Minister, Madam Sitaraman. But I do not see in practice this spirit in lake conservation or wetland conservation throughout the country. It is only the officers, the engineers, that to irrigation engineers, who does not understand what is a wetland. And now government came out with a new uh, slogan, and government will promote their unique conservation values through Amrit Dharohar. You see, let us not go fancy about these slogans and all. We have to be more sincere towards ourselves, promote more integrity in these schemes, and ensure that at least from 2023, the state governments and the central government and our GHMC will come forward in protecting, conserving, saving the wetlands and the lakes of Hyderabad city and Telangana, and seed a path towards climate adaptation. Thank you so much. It's now or never. This is most important. You see, let us not only just sit into and talk. Civil society is important. Wetlands, okay, restrictions. We have many other things, and as we get the feedback, we will move into, we will plan many more, episodes in this. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Purushottam, I think it is a wonderful.
Excellent.
Yes, Anna. Purushottam.
Yeah, at the outset, I need to compliment our channel, Dr. TSPR channel, for I think this is the only channel which is working on International Wetlands Day on this particular topic. I was actually lost in that wonderful presentation made by BV Subbarao Garu. The presentation itself is one of the highest academic quality, and the entire debate has been rightly reflected in the very many slides that have been shown. Here we have just a few observations, not regarding the presentation, but regarding the topic. Actually, yesterday, the 1st of February, the Government of India presented its budget. Come February and the budget is presented. But actually, whenever we are talking about budget, we are only talking about the financial budget, the income and expenditure and the taxes, and then the language is all economics. We talk of deficit budgets, and it goes on. For a very long time, our friends like Subbarao Garu and the leading environmentalists of India, all of us have been demanding that a natural resources balance sheet be submitted to the parliament. And this has to be done at least 1 week before the national budget is submitted. The unfortunate situation is that the number of days parliament meets is being reduced because the MPs, they hardly have any discipline. It's unfortunate that people go to the parliament only to make a walkout. Parliament, as everybody knows, Parliament means parler is a French word, and it means that they should all come, the public representatives, they need to come, they are the lawmakers, they need to discuss, and their purpose of being there is that they should be preparing laws on a progressive way, taking into consideration the needs of the time. This unfortunately is not happening much. I'm not saying that no laws are being passed, but I'm saying that there's hardly any debate going on. And it's not just me or my friends speaking. Even the Supreme Court judges have commented umpteen number of times that Parliament should discuss in more detail, because the kind of legislation that is coming out, it is full of legal uh, problems, badly worded, and most of these laws are violative of the spirit of the Constitution.
Yes.
So somehow we find that the Parliament is not working as per the Constitution. The basic structure of the Constitution is not being reflected in the lawmaking process. As a result, we, the people in this country, are being subjected to laws which are not going to give the healing touch. I wish to add a couple of things. As I was just thinking when Subbarao was presenting his the PowerPoint and all that. At one stage, I was reminded of the book Design with Nature. See, particularly when that map, it presented the wetlands once upon a time, what they were there in Hyderabad, and now the concrete jungle that has become. And it's a forewarning to the present generation, and if the people in this country, if they continue to be indifferent, then the livability of Indian cities becomes questionable. Design with nature, understanding the nature and designing activity, taking into consideration the possibilities and potentialities of different ecosystems, particularly on the occasion of International Wetlands Day. Here, normally we organize this on this particular day. We are supposed to discuss and come up with remedial measures, not from the government side, from the public side, and in the universities there should be huge discussion, and in all public channels, the whole country should be discussing these wetlands, and they also need to discuss their own role. That is, we the people have a role in protecting the environment, but we are not doing the job, and all the time we are just focusing on awareness. But believe me, friends, there is awareness at every level. The indifference is because of the selfishness that is there in the political parties, in the government, in the bureaucracy, and they become, hand in glove with the encroachers and the rising land values, and ultimately it's a story of corruption, and it's a very, very sad reflection of the state of things in this country. So, two important suggestions. One, recognizing the value of the wetlands, as rightly pointed out by our friend, with regards to climate remediation, and also in order to protect the wildlife, because these wetlands have the highest, they are the highest source when we are talking about density of the biodiversity, concentration of biodiversity, and species is the highest in the wetlands. Everybody knows that. But we are, by ignoring wetlands, by allowing them to be encroached, and by the government by not controlling the devastation that is going on, can say that the government is party to the destruction. Simple. If the state with all its power at its command, when I say the state, it includes the legislature, executive, and judicial, that mighty state, that mighty Leviathan, as described by Hobbes, when it is entrusted with the task of protecting nature, the state is bound to do it. And the state is not just the laws. I'm not talking about the air and the water and the Environment Act, Ramsar Convention apart. There are so many laws. Simple prevention of public nuisance, Section 133 CRPC. Section 133 CRPC is nothing but Prevention of Public Nuisance Act. Just under that particular act, an ordinary Tahsildar also can take the law recourse, the legal recourse to protect. But anyway, unfortunate that in India's independence, an independent India, 75 years of independent existence, has only made the Indian bureaucracy and the political class the most corrupt class in the world. Let us, after analyzing all this, I also blame the public because they have a duty to defend Article 51 AG as pointed out by Subbarao Garu. See, it is we the people, it's our duty to do, but we are not doing our job. So technically people are losing their right to demand the government to protect because they themselves are not doing anything. And this is very injurious to the health and quality of India. With these few words, I wish to thank Subbarao Garu for the enormous effort that he has put in. So, I know the difficulties in presenting such a vast subject, and presenting it for the purpose of the public in such a lucid manner. All credit goes to Subbarao Garu and our channel, Dr. TSPR channel, because it is Shiva Prasad Reddy, as a leading journalist of India, he is projecting the subject and doing his little bit to take it to the masses. But I'm worried about the people, frankly. People have become lazy, indifferent, and they are not doing what they are supposed to. And again, this in less than 1 year, or we are nearing the elections, and unless the people decide to act and elect environment people, candidates who have done a lot for the protection of the environment, with a track record of protecting the environment, unless such people are sent to assembly, are elected to assembly and parliament, things are likely to be the same. Thank you, Anna, and my compliments to the channel
Thank
and to the distinguished resource person.
సుబ్బారావు గారు, ఐ థింక్ మనం మొన్న కూడా చూసాం, కన్యాకుమారి నుంచి కాశ్మీర్ వరకు భారత్ జోడో యాత్ర రాహుల్ గాంధీ. అట్లీస్ట్ ఐ వాంట్ కాంగ్రెస్ టు డాక్యుమెంట్ వెదర్ దే హ్యావ్ డ్యూరింగ్ ది కోర్స్ ఆఫ్ ది యాత్ర did they try to document how much our natural resources or treasure are being looted or being encroached in every state, and what is the remedy that this party under Jodo Yatra, Jodo means not just people, the resources, how can people survive without natural resources? So Rahul Gandhi has to understand, Congress has to understand, if BJP or other parties, if they are not trying to protect by just a meager budget, at least they came out with 2017 a notification for all the states. But is that being implemented? First, did anyone put this to Rahul Gandhi when he started his yatra from Kanyakumari to Kashmir? Because that was a big yatra of late by a politician. We expected such type of resources, human resources and natural resources, should be judiciously utilized so that the present and the future is safe and secure. And is he going to discuss this on the floor of the parliament? such a huge number of lakes, wetlands getting vanished. You see, Himalayas are in danger. From there, the rivers will start disappearing as glaciers melt and join seas. But at least these natural bodies, which would have otherwise provided us with rich source of biodiversity along with fresh water and flood mitigation. How Hyderabad, for a classical example, 111 GO, they are trying to destroy all that which has been created by 1908 by Mokshagundam Vishweshwaraya to thwart floods. Lakes are encroached. The twin tanks, which were supposed to Himayat Sagar and Gandipet ki pani Hyderabad ki shan, which was supposed to protect Hyderabad from the flood and provide fresh water, how they are being encroached and they are being in the form of 111 GO. They are destroying that by getting another GO 69. The horrible aspect is this show is being beamed live from Old City, Hyderabad, from where All India Majlis Ittihadul Musliman Party is the principal opposition party because from tomorrow Telangana Assembly is going to start debate and the Chandrayan Gutta, we are in Yakutpura. Chandrayan Gutta is next to my constituency from where Akbaruddin Owaisi, the opposition leader, hails. How the entire area was flooded, Old City, we have not seen last 3 years. Why encroachment of lakes, disappearance of all these wetlands? Does he have any knowledge? Is he going to discuss it on the floor of the assembly? And how the central government gave only meager amount to protect these wetlands? And how they are interested in linking rivers by destroying these fresh water bodies? జీవ వైవిధ్యం మన గాలి నీరు మనల్ని కాపాడడానికి వరదలు వస్తే వీటన్నిటి మాయం చేద్దామా? వీటిపై చర్చ వద్దా? ఎస్ సార్ సుబ్బారావుజీ.
Yeah, most important thing, now the parliament, we have enough subject we have already shared for the assembly discussion on Telangana lakes and issues. For parliament, most of the water bodies in Himalayas, particularly in Joshimat and other areas, the ponds are getting dried up and the water is leaking into the uh, rock formations cracks, which is also creating the landslide and movement of the this lithology. And it's time that now the parliament is going on. They should have a discussion on the role of lakes in mitigating the landslides in Himalayan region. Because left and right we have constructed the tunnels and created way for the water bodies to gush into the layers of the Himalayan rock formations. This is one, and this aspect is not highlighted properly in the media also. They some they have made some scanty reference to it, but the lakes in the Himalayan regions have a role to play a greater stability of the Himalayan ecology. Thank you, sir.
వండర్ఫుల్ సార్. బికాస్ టుమారో
This,
తెలంగాణ చెప్పండి అన్న.
particularly in the context of the issues raised by Shiva Prasad Reddy, I was just thinking that this year, 2023, it's going to be very important because India will become the most populous country in the world, pushing China to second position. Actually, that should be a matter of grave concern. The number of people living in the Indian, particularly in India and in the Indian subcontinent, if you include Pakistan and Bangladesh and Nepal and all, the the pressure on nature in this particular region. If you calculate the carbon footprint of nearly 1.5 billion or even more, the world's densest area in terms of population, what would it be? What would be the impact on the ecosystem? That is, different ecosystems. The rivers in this country are highly contaminated. Cities are totally polluted. The Himalayan ecosystem is, signs of disturbance. And that particular area is also earthquake prone. All that region right from all along the Himalayas. Everybody knows, my friend is an authority on that. Then what happens? Where are we going? Our coastlines, mangrove forests are lost. Not a single action of the government and the people in this country can be described as being sustainable. People are indifferent, government is indifferent, and the governments only work to implement the agenda of the corporates. And collectively, people are losing their common property resources. So my submission is, unless there is a major paradigm shift, that is, unless the existing model of development in this country is reversed and a new model, a new paradigm, protecting the environment, protecting the people, and for which not only the people, all political parties, bureaucracy, everybody has to change, and the entire design of development itself should be changed. And we, the people, all the people living south of the Himalayas, whatever the individual country, unless we all converge, sustainability will not be possible. It's a big issue. Assembly may come, the session may start, it may close. These vital issues are not discussed there. MIM is a friendly party of TRS. They are not bothered about the Pirangi Nala. And it is Pirangi Nala destruction is one of the major causes for the flooding of the whole city. And not in MIM, so far, not one leader of MIM has ever spoken. They don't bother about the encroachments of Miralam Tank and several other water bodies in the whole city. So these are not their concern. Everybody is busy making money, and all the MLAs, we need to look what were there before they started their careers of becoming MLAs, and today, how much are their worth? See, MLA is an ordinary job. It's not meant to make money, right? Some
Yeah.
emolument is given to enable them to discharge their duties properly. How come they become so rich and powerful? Some very serious investigation has to be done. And in the next election, a real good alternative should emerge. And their first item in the manifesto would be to nationalize all the illegal properties of all the MLAs and MPs put together.
Yes,
That is
that's
because they have stolen from the people. The people should take it back.
a
I
big one. I think I only hope Parliament in session will listen to the advices given by both Guru Tilul and Guru Garu. They should implement. The corruption is the mainstay. Brastachar, Aviniti, and there is no transparency and accountability. పారదర్శకత జవాబుదారితనం లేకపోవడం వల్ల అవినీతి పెరిగిపోవడం వల్ల ఈ కార్పొరేట్స్ కానీ వాళ్ళు వచ్చి ఇచ్చిన డబ్బుతోనే ఈ పార్టీలు ప్లస్ వాళ్ళు ఎన్నుకోబడ్డటువంటి ప్రతినిధులు ఉండడం వల్ల ఆ ఎలక్ట్రల్ బాండ్స్ కూడా చూడండి కోవిడ్-19 టైంలో అన్ని రాజకీయ పార్టీలు ఒకటై ఒపేక్ అంటే మీరు ఏ పార్టీ ఇప్పుడు అదాని కానీ అంబానీ కానీ ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తున్నా ఏ పార్టీకి ఎంత డబ్బు ఇస్తున్నాడో నీకు తెలియదు ఎందుకు ఆ దాపురికం జవాబుదారితనం పారదర్శకత ఎక్కడికి పోయింది రాజ్యాంగం అదే కదా చెప్పేది వీళ్ళు ఓన్లీ పాలకులు మన సేవకులు వీళ్ళు ఏ కంపెనీ ఎంత ఇస్తుందో ఎందుకు చెప్పడం లే ఎందుకు దాస్తున్నారు అంటే ఆ అవినీతి డబ్బే నిన్న చూశారు కదా అదాని సండే ఒక రోజు మనం లైవ్ పెట్టాం ఆ రోజు నుంచి మొత్తం హ్యాక్ 5,000 హ్యాక్ కేసులు పెడుతున్నారు ఏమైనా చేసుకోండి మనం చట్టం రాజ్యాంగం ఆధారం సో ఆ అవినీతి వల్లనే ఎన్నుకోబడ్డటువంటి ప్రజాప్రతినిధులు అందరిని అనడంలే నేను ఎన్నుకోబడ్డ ప్రజాప్రతినిధులు ఆ పార్టీల వల్ల మన సహజ వనరుల దోపిడీ జరిగితే మనం ఏ విధంగా బతుకుతాం ఎందుకంటే ఇంట గెలిచి రచ్చ గెలవాలి ఐఎమ్ స్టార్టింగ్ టుమారో తెలంగాణ అసెంబ్లీ విల్ బి ఇన్ సెషన్ तो मैं यही समझा रहा हूँ हमारे भाई बहनों को, भाई आप सोचिए, हमारा शान क्या था, गंडीपेट खत्म हो गया, मिरालम टैंक वो भी खत्म हो जा रहा, फिरंगी नाला किस तरह खा गए, इसके वजह से आज ओल्ड सिटी डूब रहा है। क्या कर रहे हैं हमारे ऑल इंडिया मजलिस इत्तेहादुल मुस्लिमीन के एमएलए और अकबरुद्दीन ओवैसी साहब जो है प्रतिपक्ष नेता है, वो क्यों ये सब बात नहीं करते? हम इस तरह के मजहब के नाम पे मस्जिद बनाओ, ये बनाओ, हमारे को लड़ा रहे हैं। मैं खाली यही पार्टी को नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, जो भी पार्टी वोट के लिए हमको लड़ा रहा है और साथ में हमारा सहज संपदा जो है लूटा जा रहा है, तालाब गायब, सब कुछ गायब। जब अगर इस तरह तालाब सब कुछ गया, पीने के लिए पानी कहाँ से आएगा? और जब बाढ़ आए, जब हम किस तरह बह गए, हमारे जीवन खत्म हो गए, घर पूरा लूटा गया, कौन जिम्मेदार है? क्या हम नहीं है? क्योंकि हमारे सेवक को आज राजा बना के बैठा है। क्यों डरते हैं आप उनसे? ये केवल हमारे सेवक है, ये हमारे सहज संपदा के रक्षक है। अगर आप आज नहीं सोचेंगे आज का, तो हमारी जिंदगी बदतर होगी। कल हमारे बच्चों के लिए क्या देंगे? మీరు ఆలోచన చేయకపోతే ఈ రోజు మన జీవితమే కాదు, రేపు పొద్దున మన పిల్లలకు సహజ వనరులు ఏమిస్తారు? గొలుచుకట్టు చెరువులు మాయం, గండిపేట మాయం, నిరాలం ట్యాంకి మాయం, ఫిరంగి నాల మాయం, తాగనీకే నీరు ఉండదు, వరదలు వస్తే కొట్టుకుపోయే పరిస్థితి, పీల్చడానికి గాలి ఉండదు। ఏ విధంగా చూశారు కదా అక్కడ ముచ్చర్ల నుంచి మేడిపల్లి ఫార్మ్ సిటీ అని అడవులను కూడా మాయం చేస్తా ఉన్నారు, జంగల్ भी गायब। सो आपके हाथ में है, क्योंकि हैदराबाद इज bestowed with such rich green cover or reserve forest area। Now see how our chief minister has laid a foundation stone to run metro from which place, from that high tech city area to Shamshabad. There is no colony or habitat there except biodiversity, so they are going to create colonies now, destroy that ecologically sensitive area for their, so they are destroying southern Telangana। I can tell you, southern Telangana rich in biodiversity is going to be destroyed once for all, so it is there in your hands। They don't want to discuss that। Even parliament, what is happening in Gujarat, yes, clearly shown 30-40%, Mr. Modi, what is happening? You have just released a 2017 order, then why are you not protecting those wet water bodies in your own Gujarat? You should have led by example। You have constructed a huge Ahmedabad stadium, 80,000, and on your name, first time I have not seen anyone, God bless you, on your name, we wanted natural resources reservation, सहज संपदा को आपके नाम लगा के मोदी जी उसको रक्षक करिए। पहले आप गुजरात से शुरू करिए। क्यों खत्म हो जा रहा है ये सब? अगर ये खत्म होने से पीने की पानी कहां से आएगा? बाढ़ को कौन रोकेगा? और हम जो श्वास लेते हैं, ऑक्सीजन कहां से आएगा मोदी जी? और आप एक मार्गदर्शक रह के हर एक जो पार्टी है राष्ट्र में, उनको सही सलामत आप बोलिए, पहले सहज संपदा को रक्षा कीजिए ताकि लोग एक अच्छी सी जिंदगी जी सके और कुछ बचा के हमारे बच्चों को दे सके। ये मिसाल आप रखिए, आप इस तरह की ब्रांड आप रचाइए तो लोग आपके साथ रहेंगे। लेकिन ये कंक्रीट जंगल, लिंकिंग ऑफ रिवर्स, पूरे जंगल को खत्म, तालाब को खत्म, कैसे जिएंगे हम? यस सर, सुब्बाराव जी, लास्ट कमेंट।
Before concluding, taking a clue from what Professor Purushottam Reddy garu prefer, I am suggesting to Dr. Shiv Prasad Reddy on this channel, we must go for series of discussions
Yeah.
on development crisis and master plans.
Definitely.
This is most important.
We'll do it.
People do not know what is the impact of present development model and creating the development crisis, and this master plans, who is creating for whom and what is the benefit and how. And I congratulate the people of Kamareddy, Nirmal, even Warangal, who are slowly making the resistance to such stupid master plans, I say.
Yes.
And it's time for the Hyderabad people to at least study, review the master plan of Hyderabad. And is it a livable city and all? Look at what the development crisis is creating. So I'm just suggesting it's time
If you agree,
our
Dana,
people. Hmm.
we agree with you. We'll do it together.
Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Good
And
night then. Thank you.
yeah, I'm ready to host, sir, all
Yeah,
series.
thank you.
And not only
Thank
that,
you.
through I take the liberty on behalf of you through Hyderabad Democracy Forum to all political parties in parliament now to you prove yourself, discuss, debate, you may differ on the important aspect. When you entered politics, what is your wealth? What is your wealth? What is that you have shown in your election affidavit? Every parliamentarian, every political party should start discussing and debating. The same thing should happen in Telangana Assembly too. What were your assets when you entered politics? Your children assets, because a family rule is happening in India, horribly destroying democracy. So we want you to discuss, reveal through parliament and through assembly, Telangana Assembly and parliament in session, how much wealth you have made as an MLA, as an MP, MLC, right from Sarpanch to ZPTC also, even mayor also, corporators, everyone. What was your wealth when you entered politics and what is your wealth today? If you debate this, everything will come out, because your conscience should be clear. Your conscience should be clear, so that there is no fear on your part, so that fear you are trying to create amongst people. Now people have become very intelligent and sharp. I hope people will rise to the occasion and start questioning everyone, because it is our money and they are just public servants. Thank you very much, sir. Love to,
Thank you,
love
sir.
to
Good
host you
night. Good
again.
night.
Thank you.
Series.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do support DRTSPR channels, Citizen DRTSPR channel, and Environment People DRTSPR channels. This show also again will be retelecasted, because Telangana Assembly will be in session. If they are not going to discuss this, we may change a headline, but we will again retelecast, and it will be in series also again. Definitely do support DRTSPR channels. Sukhanidra and Shubharatri. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.